Got to remember turn on my volume here. So pretty much, what is it? EXB everything. Good morning, Dan. What's going on, guy? Whoop. So pretty much, what is it? Just want to make sure I actually have volume. I think everybody knew that this was potentially going to be the next drop. I'm not surprised myself, and I do still have questions, and I think the questions were realistically brought out when they went ahead and did this. And the questions were, what's really upgraded? Well, okay, so we figured it out. Between version 1 and 1.5 that Earl Moorhead had talked about. If you're not a part of Earl Moorhead's channel, you might want to quickly jump on and make sure you're subscribed. I'll definitely tell you that. Also, if you are not subscribed to Chef Beardsley, I would definitely go ahead, and if you're interested in watching someone abuse an Arma Outcast 8S, I'd go over to his channel and I'd go check it out, because from my experience and from what I've seen, and yes, he is a moderator. That's not why I'm pushing his channel. I'm pushing his channel because he's got real deal content, and it is kind of hard to find that no nonsense real deal content where he's not holding back. He even did his own version of, and I'll say it this way, he did his own version of the trash bag video, and that's of the Traxxas XMAXX. And it's again, it's his personal opinion. But I do want to bring out something. Now, I know what we're here to talk about, this thing right here, right? We're here to talk about this. But I did want to say something in defense of Traxxas. Now, I've been noticing that people have lately been, I think, assuming, or maybe assuming isn't the right word. People have been under the assumption that I'm some kind of a ARRMA fanboy or whatever, because I seem to be at least pushing or gravitating towards ARRMA. But there's one reason why. Look at what ARRMA's doing. What are they doing? They're constantly doing something, pushing forward. Yes, the Drag Slash came out. Yeah. For a good sized price, and that was kind of expected. The Haas came out. I'm sorry. There are some people out there that, you know, thoroughly enjoy the Haas, and it's a great vehicle, and they needed to push that. I want to say, like, I don't want to call it a lesser line, but it is kind of a lesser line in Traxxas. And what was the major complaint about the Haas? The major complaint about the Haas was what? Price. Traxxas knows what they're doing. They really do. Traxxas is definitely in for themselves, which that's what a business has to be in. And ARRMA is the same way. So why did I bring out Traxxas in defense of Trash Bag? Trash Bag, if you don't know, Trash Bag is my XMAXX. A subscriber actually nicknamed it Trash Bag. I wish I could remember who it was, but it seemed very fitting. Why am I talking about Traxxas and my Trash Bag and XMAXX, Haas and Slash and all that stuff? It's because ARRMA is constantly, even though it's little things, ARRMA is constantly, or at least I feel like, or it looks like they're doing something. They're making the changes. They're not only giving you the different color bodies, they're making those changes, sometimes, however, so slight. They're seeing the issue. They're wanting to make money. That is the point of a company, man, is to make money. Now, in conversations with Earl, there had been the, how do I explain it? In conversations with Earl, we had talked about the Creighton versus the Outcast. A lot of people know Creighton this thing right here, well, not this one, this one, there are issues. There are still issues. One of the issues that I came across was the same thing that I think other people coming across. When you just look at the chassis, even though it is a thicker, stronger material, the location where the front section is still a little bit of a weak issue. I'm not feeling that way about this thing though, because this thing is already in its stock form an amazing truck. Two issues that, well, 2/3 issues that I know. Some of them are deserved, some of them aren't. Those issues, and I should probably have these up. I wonder if I can, I don't think I can have these up side by side. Can I? I probably could, but I'd mess things up. Front arms, front shocks, but it's kind of deserved. You do have to have that weak point or that weak issue to where you'd rather maybe, break a shock, or you'd rather break an arm as opposed to, destroying a diff or destroying the frame or whatever. And yeah, I called it a frame because it is a frame. But so its kind of weakness was obviously the shocks. So what did they do? So at least with this, they saw the weakness. And I'm just going to scroll through the pictures because I'm not sure where we are here. I think jump onto this, the chassis. So yes, a 70, 75, semi-stamped. Somebody jumped on me when I said that this was stamped. It's stamped, but not stamped. When I was talking about stamped, I was talking about the little side wings that you can see, like right here. You see how it's stamped? That's what I meant. But either way, have they changed the formulation for the formula for the arms? Is anything changing, or are they basically just taking the Creighton and literally just giving it a chassis? Do you know what I'm saying? Are they literally did they just make the chassis and then that's pretty much it? And they took everything else from the Creighton that they just did. And yeah, that is what they did, but it's okay, because for those people that already have a nice radio, when you're at this level, you probably already have a radio. And I think the price is coming in at $700. That's a steep price. But again, the company's thinking about themselves. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a steep price. Just like Traxxas in the Slash. All right, etched to perfection. Precision CNC machine chassis, yes. Precision, I don't know. How precise? 5mm thick, only, what is it? Was it 3mm, or I'll have to measure it. But it's either 3 or 4mm at the Diff locations. Obviously a new body, pretty slick. I think they keyed a little bit too much into the explanations of the body. They did a little bit, I think, excessively about talking about precision graphics and all this other stuff. The graphics are cool. ARRMA seems to do a really good job on their graphics, unlike some other companies that we're familiar with. LOSI. What's wrong with you guys? All right, stunt roll cage. I think all that's the same. Like literally, I think all of this stuff is literally just going to be the same. So what are we getting? We're getting the beefed up turnbuckles, which I'll get to that. Wing is all the same. Everything is still like the same from a factory Outcast. I don't know if this is different from this. So what if I just jump over and see? Looks the same. Actually, the roof skids might be different. Because those roof skids right there, those might be different. Might be just minimal, little tiny changes. Where's the roof skids? I don't know. They kind of, maybe they're thicker. I don't know. Those look kind of smooth. Either way, we know what we're getting. We're paying for the shock upgrade, and it's not the shock body. You're paying for the upgrade, and I did kind of go over this. It's probably in this section. No, this is just motor mounts and servo and gears and junk. Plush shock package. So yes, so we're paying for the shocks. There is a exploded view right here. So existing in the platform right there, if you had an Outcast regular 8S, you can see that the shock shaft itself, it's now a thicker shock shaft. It's definitely a thicker rod end. As far as that cap goes, the only difference in the cap is obviously it's going to encapsulate the larger rod end. So, but it's the same exact shock body. Looks like obviously that seal is probably a little bit different, just to be more compatible to a thicker shock shaft. Springs have got to be the same is my guess. Let's see what else. I think it talks about rod ends here. Yeah, just the rod ends, heavy duty rod ends. So what are you paying for? You're paying for extra gearing, an extra servo thing. You're paying for the rod ends to be beefier. You're paying for, I mean, everything else is the same. You're paying for the chassis, shocks, rod ends, the body. This is one that I'm less apprehensive as far as an EXB, because like I was saying, is that people most likely are, if they're buying this, they already know what they're going to put in it. They're going to put in a Max 5 or something, or a Castle. So if they want the Fireball, they got to be careful picking the Castle still, because I think there are still Fireballs out there. So big and cool. What's going on, guy? I'm going to jump in. Let me, let's see. How can I do this? So I'm going to throw it on the thing here for a second. I'm going to let Chef jump in. Let's see. I'll just replay this. And I'll jump me out of here. Jump me back in. Hit play on this. Twisted, what's going on, guy? KGM, what's going on? Crack, what's going on, guy? RC Steve, what's going on? Joe Parsons, big and cool. Emily, Dan's bearded. Let's see. Thomas, what's going on, guy? 727, what's going on? You chef, you know that they're the same except for all four corners. You already know that. Who else was here? I just saw Thomas Downey Jr. What's going on, guy? City Plumbing, what's going on, guy? Sorry, I'm just Dan Woodruff. Man, the computer's like higher, so my glasses are messing up. Whistling Lipo, what's going on, man? Vince Vargas, what's going on, guy? Barry King. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Did I do this right? Good enough. So where were we here? Talked about the 2 servo mounts, talked about the steering links and the links themselves, beefier and bigger rod ends. Let's see if I unmute this. Does that work? And the links themselves. Why is there a thing? I see a guy. I'm just slow on adding you. How does this work? If I do that, click that. I don't know why there was an echo.
That is weird.
I can't even hear you, chef. I've messed up. Yeah.
It might be me.
Echo. Hear you, chef. I've messed up. Yeah.
It might be me.
I don't know. It's not you. It's me. It's when I clicked on the microphone.
So you muted me.
I don't have volume. It's when I click. Come on. It's been too long. I don't know how to do this. I think I gotta get headphones.
You want me to back out? Good morning. You can hear both, Tom. Do you know a place to get a wing mount? Laser nut. Taz, what's up, man? I literally woke up.
Here I am talking to Chef, and he can't hear me either because I took myself out. Chef, I can't hear you, so if it's okay for me to make you large screen, just nod your head or say no. Yes, okay. I'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? He has to figure out his audio stuff, so it's the chef stream that took over. This has happened before because he can't hear me, but you guys can. So there's something going on. It's weird to have this many people in a live so early. I'm not used to it because on my lives I get like 20, which is awesome. But I think he said he's going to get a headset. So what do you guys think about that EXB? I actually like woke up. I seen the message that they announced it, and then I seen Guy was live and he was talking about it. So like I hopped up out of bed and I was sprinting to the shed because I was like, I need to get in on this conversation. I was like, because I have a lot of hands-on time and I have a super upgraded Outcast now. So I was like, oh man, I need to get a part. I need to see if I can get a part in this conversation. City Planning, what's up? on a wing mount on a laser net. RC guy is getting a headset, so. I haven't been out with Addicted lately. He's a busy man. It's his busy time. I don't want to really say much about what he does for a living. That's his thing. But it's just his busy time right now. So we actually haven't met up and hung out and like bashed in a long time. Soon though, we actually have big plans. And I talked to Earl Moorhead yesterday on the phone. We were talking for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. He was giving me some ideas too and stuff. So like I have some big plans with Addicted. Hopefully we can meet up soon when it slows down for him. So I don't understand why he can't hear me, but you guys can. Oh, there he is. Unmute yourself. You're muted. Guy, unmute yourself. Guy. There you are. You were muted.
Oh my God. Does that sound too loud?
You could. You're all right. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Sounds like it's cranked. Yes. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I knew you were gonna figure this out. I had faith in you. Don't worry, everybody got to see me on full screen and all my glory. You know. I actually. Yes, we can hear both now. All right, sweet.
All I'm hearing is a constant echo.
Is your stream open? You definitely have double audio coming from somewhere.
I can't figure it out.
Do you want me to back out and come back and see if that fixes it?
Oh, I think I just fixed it.
Nice. I didn't mean to like just like invite myself onto the stream, but I was like, he's talking about stuff, and I was like,
wait a minute.
Yo.
Number one, how are you inviting yourself?
Well,
when I was like, hoping you would be here.
Yeah, I was like, come on, dude, let me in there, because I told them, I was like, I literally woke up and I seen like the notification that like the EXB was announced. I was like, oh, that's cute, and then I seen you went live and you were talking about it, and I literally sprinted to the shed with like all my stuff, and I was like, I gotta get in on this.
Oh no, honestly, I was hoping you would show up.
Nice.
Wait a minute. Why is it? All right, there we go. 5. You know what's crazy, man? Oh my God, the echo's killing me. If I take this out, is that any better? Is that any better?
Hello.
Whoa. I don't know why it did that. I think that's better.
It's coming through your speakers.
I think I messed something up here because I'm still hearing a double echo.
I can hear if I talk loud.
Yeah.
No, it's better.
It never does that. Camera. Audio. Echo cancellation is on.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna actually get the stock chassis off my wall,
Nice.
and we can do some measuring and whatnot.
Because you're obviously running the M2C now. Everybody knows that, I think.
Yeah. And honestly, it wasn't needed for me. I just got it because it deserved it. I beat the snot out of this thing.
Yeah.
It was just one of those days. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make the ultimate basher for myself, like electric wise. And I was like, is it tweaked? Yeah, a little bit, but it's really not bad.
I was gonna say, I've really messed something up here. I haven't done this in so long, I forget. It's like driving the RC stuff. I forget.
I don't have an Echo now, but I don't know if you do. I don't care.
I think the Echo's gone. I think I figured it out.
So stop clicking stuff, because most of the time you overclick, and then you disappear.
And I disappear. J.O., what's going on, guy? Let me see. So right off, what I wanted to ask you, just because of this drop, and because you've given so much love to your version of an EXB, Creighton right now, Creighton Outcast. What do you think about this coming out?
I honestly, everybody knew it was coming. After the 8S came out, I'm pretty sure like a month later, people were like, when's the EXB coming?
Right. If you had a semi, how do I say the wording?
Stock?
No, if you had, okay, so let's just say yours was stock, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, or let's just say you had a Creighton or whatever. Would that push you to go ahead and get this over getting an RTR?
If I didn't already have one.
Right.
Honestly, me personally, I think I would go with stock, the RTR,
okay,
and then upgrade as I broke things, like basically like I did. Because I love the way it was stock. It's kind of hard for me to say because I know what it was like stock.
Right.
And stock for me was fantastic. I bet a shock shaft. What else did I break? An arm. But like, I think like if I was going to go to the hobby shop, I'm looking at the EXB, it's 700. I'm looking at the RTR, it's what, 9? I'm like, I'd rather get that, beat the snot out of it, and then get these parts as it breaks. That's just how I look at things. I'm a break it, upgrade guy.
Yeah.
But there's really no, like for me, my chassis is better than that chassis already. So for me right now, there's no reason at all.
Right.
I'm curious about, are the shocks the same as the EXB Creighton?
Yes.
Right,
except, and like except for the fact all 4 corners are the same for the Outcast.
Yeah, they're all the rear.
Yeah.
And I already have them on mine.
Right.
The weird thing is if you guys are getting this and you end up putting RPM arms on that truck, the ends of the shocks, the way the EXB shocks are, they're shorter and fatter, and they actually don't line up in an RPM arm. I actually had to Dremel out the sides and like kind of make like a valley in there, just a little, like less than a mil, like just a little on either side, just to get the holes to line up.
I think we're all starting to wake up a little bit about RPM, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm upset they didn't upgrade the drive shafts.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I looked for. I was like, ooh, did they like change? Because even stock, you bend those drive shafts.
Oh, let me look. Did they? I thought I read something about.
I read something about like metal diffs, inner and outer, or something like that, or something they said.
I thought I read something about. Let's see. I saw something about the drive shafts. Where the heck was that?
Like I said, I just scrolled through it and seen went live and just like spread it out here. So.
high strength steel front, rear, and center drive shaft. So the wonderment is high strength steel. Is that just stock?
No,
and
I
they're just saying, oh, high strength steel.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the other one said that when the Outcast came out.
Right. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for thicker overall material?
Yeah, something. Because I bet. Look, I actually have one in the vise right now.
And I think right now that's where Scorched is coming into play, right?
Yeah, and M2C is apparently working on some too. This isn't even that bad, but that's one. And I literally have been waiting for M2C to release theirs. I just bend these back. But
right.
the one that's on the Outcast right now is spent so bad that it's hitting the shock.
The bad thing, which I know you already know this about having anything that's out of balance or bent, is you're causing serious damage to the bearing. Not only to just the bearing, you're also causing damage to the whatever's housing the bearing. You'll start to wallow out the plastic if you let it go long enough.
I don't know if I can. I'll take this off.
I'll make you big. I'll put the grow ray on you.
All right. So look at that.
That looks beautiful.
It's like a U. It's hitting the spring.
Oh my God.
Like,
you're surprised that that's not popping out.
Yeah, I'm surprised that most people complain about the pins breaking. I had never broke a pin. I just bent the crap out of the drive shafts.
Yep.
But it's literally, that's my biggest issue right now with my ultimate EXB that I'm working on here is the drive shafts are bending like crazy. The fronts really aren't that bad. It's the rears, man. I bend rear ones every time I go out. And if you guys know me, I launched the crap out of this thing. So like, it's in the way it's justified, but I got to figure out a way where I'm not making them a banana every time.
Jess is saying that Scorched is having trouble with drive cups. And it's like, that's what you have to know. Like anytime you change anything, you make something more rigid, you're transferring that elsewhere. It just literally just spreads out.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't care even if I get something. I was talking to the M2C owner when I was ordering my chassis. He was saying that his testers are finding that they think that the stock drive shafts are too long.
Right.
So they're actually bottoming out in the cup, and that's what's causing them to bend.
Right.
That's a banana shaft. Yeah. Yep. But what's the thickness on that new chassis?
5.
Do they have a step down like the Creighton?
Yes.
Like towards the diffs?
Yes.
See, that's a weak spot to me, man.
I know. That's what we talked about when the Creighton chassis came out, or the EXB chassis came out. Everybody was thinking, oh, it's just, it's 5. I think it's 5 millimeters.
Because as soon as I looked at
go back and look, I think it is 5.
Yeah, as soon as I looked at the EXB in person, because I unboxed it at that hobby shop I go to, he let me unbox it. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, dude, look at that step down. Like, that's a weak spot.
Where is it?
I don't know why they do that. And if you notice, most people bend their EXBs on the front.
Right. Where is the actual? Yes, 5 millimeters. Sorry, it took me so long.
Yeah, see the step down right there?
Yeah.
I'm pointing at it like you can see me pointing.
Oh, yeah. Bam. Right there.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about with the Creighton. Same thing.
Why do you do that? Like my M2C chassis don't do that, and everything fits. It's not like your bumpers don't fit or anything else like that. I don't understand why they do that.
Does it have to do with the fact that they would have to add a couple of more threads to all the hardware?
Maybe, but I think no, because I'm using all the stock hardware. This doesn't come with new hardware.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand why they
But
do
if this chassis flexes where yours doesn't, maybe that's an issue. The pullout of screws, losing losing even what 2 millimeters or whatever, a millimeter of thread depth, you're going to have pullout. Unless with your chassis, because your chassis is rigid. Now, did you put the support brace and all that stuff? Yeah,
Everything.
So your chassis doesn't even move.
No. I think another thing, now I'm thinking about it, M2C even points out that they have deeper
recessed points
to
bring in, to bring the threads in. Yeah,
that might be what does it. But why
See,
would they do that?
Telling you, man, that's what Mitch really thinks. He really does.
That bothers me because like you said, if I'm at the place I'm looking at too, like a roller, I'm going to buy a motor and stuff, or a stock one. The first thing my eyes went to when I first looked at the EXB Creighton was that. I like zeroed in on that. I'm like, why is it like that? Like,
right.
That would drive me nuts.
Yep. So now, what are you calling yours? Are you calling yours just the Ultimate Outcast?
I have no idea. I don't know if I want to keep Outcast in the name because in my eyes, it's not an Outcast. Like I was talking to Earl yesterday on the phone.
Why is it not an Outcast?
Well, I was talking to Earl yesterday on the phone, and he was like, "Well, it's the platform is an Outcast." I was like, "Yeah, but like I would say the chassis is an Outcast, even though it's not from M2C. The shocks are from the Creighton EXB, but now I guess they're from the. It's basically an EXB now. Now that I'm thinking about it,
kind of.
Yeah, because
I think it's literally instead of branding it an EXB, which I think that is. And I don't mean any disrespect to ARRMA, but I believe that's a downgrade by calling yours an EXB, because what is making yours more ultimate is that M2C chassis.
Yeah,
so maybe you just call it an M2C Outcast because its rigid platform base is now M2C. So it's an M2C Outcast.
That's true. That's a good idea. But this thing is an animal. But you probably see my speed runs. I was doing standing backflips.
Yeah.
This thing's heavy, and for this thing to just effortlessly go, I was
like, so you're saying it's heavy. How noticeable is it to you as far as being what you just literally said by calling it heavy now?
Well, when you're strong like me, you don't notice that much. No, I get it.
Well, do you have one side of your body now that's are you get one half of your body it's all jacked up now?
No, but I would say it's noticeable. When going from this chassis to this one, like I had the M2C in my hand with everything with the mounts on it or the supports down the middle. And I was like, all right, yeah, I can tell there's going to be some weight difference. But when it was on the truck, I was like, all right, that's actually a good weight difference. Like I to tell you weight wise, I wish I had a scale. I would have weighed both, but it definitely has some more weight to it. But when you're driving it, you don't feel that weight at all.
Right.
Like with my setup, at all.
With Earl's Creighton, his M2C heavy Chevy Creighton, that thing, you can see its weight. When Bars and Tones was launching that thing, every time it landed, there was like I cringed. I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's literally got to be leaving a stamped imprint of the chassis on the dirt every time it lands. It's got an M2C stamp. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But with this, I was actually, I know you're going to yell at me. I wasn't filming. I was just enjoying the day with my neighbor, just running RC cars. And I actually snapped the bulkhead on my EXB Creighton, the small one. But I was launching this just off of a plastic ramp on like a dirt hill I put on and just launching it. When going through the air feels exactly the same. When it lands, honestly, if it hits harder, it's not by much. I wasn't like launching it and it hitting and going, ooh. I was like, boom, and just keep going. Like I'm surprised. I guess that the 2-inch, because it's 2 inches shorter than a Creighton, right? I think that makes that much of a difference. Yeah, I think that makes that much of a difference.
Crazy the difference.
Yeah.
So on a speed run vehicle, the Creighton's got it. The Creighton's got it because it's got that longer chassis, can keep the front end down just a little bit longer than the Outcast would.
Yeah.
I just, man, that thing is, it is a nice looking rig. It really is. If someone was considering getting this and they already did have the electronics, they had whatever they needed, I actually would recommend that. Believe it, I know you're on a different level. You're talking about, you know, RTR, but so many people, like almost, I think about when you take somebody like Earl, it's almost as if this is what he needs to do. He's not going to go out. Let's just say Earl gets back into drag racing. Okay. He's not going to go out and buy a brand new, you know, from the dealership Mustang and then take that to the track. No. He's going to buy a Fox body shell and he's going to put his power system in it. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's where I feel the level of person that's going to buy this is already, they already got the plans. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? And like most people buy the ARRMA stuff and they swap out to a cocaine motor before, or engine, motor before they even start, like, run the thing. Those guys are going to buy this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the guy that goes and swaps out the motor right away. You know what I mean? And all that stuff.
Right.
So it's all depends on what kind of person you are and how you run.
I'm a little lost here. 7 scale size of Mojave. Limitless.
Or 5th scale.
The limitless and infraction. That's and that's all 7th. I think what people sometimes get confused about is a lot of people will just take a 7th scale or a 5th scale or a 10th scale and they'll place it next to another 10th scale and they'll go, why is it so much bigger? Or why is it so much smaller? And it's only because if this was a 1-to-1, this is potentially what the scale, it's a 5th of the scale. It's a 7th of the scale if it was a 1-to-1. That's why Traxxas is very smart and they do pro scale. That way they can just make whatever they want.
Yeah, do what they want. Yep. But that's why, like, the XMAXX is a monster truck and it's considered a 5th scale. But then you look at the Raminator, that's a true 5th scale.
Right.
That's a 5th scale of a full-size
monster truck. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, like, that's why it's an 80-pound behemoth. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what's funny is how you just called the XMAXX 5th scale. It's because you know it's not.
Yeah, but
it's the same. It's a similar size. You're right. It's a similar size, but again, Traxxas is their pro scale.
Yeah.
That way you can't put it in that category.
Yeah. So, yeah. And did they change the steering up front at all? I call it a steering rack. I forget what it's called. I got the M2C, the metal in the front for steering, left and right.
I'm pretty sure everything's all the same.
That's another weak spot. If you're looking at this and you're gonna bash it like I do, keep in mind you're probably gonna oblong the steering in the front end there out.
I'm trying to see if I can get a good picture of the steering.
Because if you watch my speed run, I actually slammed that curb at like 40, but my steering was fine. It just popped. The ball just popped off. And I just popped it back on. But stock, I've oblonged 2 of those plastic ones out. One second, I'm gonna mute myself. I just woke up.
Pretty sure that the front steering is the same.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, that's the part that I use to oblong out all the time. I feel like that should have been an upgrade.
What happened? Yeah, so I mean, I was literally just looking at, you know, like we did with the drop of the Creighton, just jump on and just, you know, do a COVID and coffee. People keep asking for the COVID and coffee, like, God, when are you gonna bring that back? I'm like, oh.
Well, it's fun, like it's cool, you know, like wake up, hang out with your buddies,
right?
But what's the stock chassis? Hold on, I gotta measure this now. I'm thinking to myself.
Let's get some numbers on there, sir. What is the thickness of the M2 chassis?
Hold on, I'm gonna do the stock. I think the stock is 4.
Yeah.
I believe...
So they gave you an extra millimeter, better material, and then they took it away at the ears.
Yeah, which is the weakest. Like that drives me nuts, dude.
I know.
I don't know where I can grip onto this M2C chassis.
Anyway,
I'm trying.
Use your teeth.
I'm using my head.
Are they 6?
I can't grab it, man.
Oh my god.
I really can't.
It's too heavy for you.
Yeah.
It's a tank.
It really is. It's gonna be kind of iffy. Saying 5.
Same.
It's
But
just,
then with that extra bracing, what's
Yeah.
the thickness of the bracing?
it's actually a double layer of bracing.
Right.
Let's see.
Which is very smart.
Yeah. Where's my camera stuff?
I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna make you big again, big boy.
All right, I got it. Let's see. Exit out of here. All right, so it's gonna be. I got all this stuff in the way, guys. So actually, I'll cut this. Where's my nippers? All right, that might be a little easier to see. So right down here, you can see it. It's like there's a thin piece. Honestly, it looks exactly like this on the stock chassis.
Take your caliper. Take your caliper. The little end piece, down at the bottom, comes out. By your palm. That's what measures. That's what measures depth. See the piece that sticks out by your right hand?
Yeah. Hold on, I just gotta zero it back out. I messed it all up. 0 mode millimeter. Here we go. All right, so
Two.
No, not even close.
1.5.
It's almost 14. Like literally, like it's zeroed out. Like going down.
It's not going to be 14. 14 millimeters?
Dude, look.
Something's wrong with you. It's not going to be 14
that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Think about it. Think about what you're saying.
No, it's huge.
If the chassis is fine, it's not going to 5. It's not going to. That place is 14 millimeters. That's nuts.
I'm literally touching the top of the brace right now.
Right.
And the bottom of the chassis. I'm literally, the calipers are touching the top of the brace, and it's
damn.
That little thing is touching.
That brace was that thick.
Okay, so it's 13. It literally, like, I'm sitting on top of the center brace, and I'm touching the chassis with the bottom of that.
So that brace is a pretty good sized chunk of metal.
Yeah, and there's 2 layers to it. There's there's this piece that screws on. Right. It looks like this, and then the metal pieces go on here and here.
Okay.
So it braces the front and the rear.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's legit 12, almost 13.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so I think that's where a lot of the weight's coming from.
Yeah.
But it was getting launched, and it was doing really well.
Does that raise up or conflict with anything?
Nope.
So it lifts nothing up.
Nope.
Everything literally goes around it.
Yeah, everything literally
just
slapped right on the chassis. I had no issues. The only issue I had, I actually contacted N2C. It's supposed to come with nuts for the screws that come up through the center.
Right.
And my bag didn't have any nuts in it, so I called him. I was like, dude, I don't care. I spent $1 and bought 6 nuts. I was like, just to let you know, like, my kit didn't come with nuts. He's like, oh, I got to talk to my packers. He was like, I appreciate the heads up. I was like, all right, just to let you know. But yeah, that's legit 13. So, and I like the M2C because it's the same thickness all the way through, front to rear. There's no step down.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure, didn't Sergeant J bend his front end on his EXB Creighton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is about bending is that somebody made a post that I had seen on the Facebook thing, and
yeah,
somebody took a straight edge and they put it on the chassis, and they were like, Looks like I'm going to have to throw another $300 at this thing. And it's like, God,
no, you don't.
No, you don't. Just bend it back.
And honestly, like mine has a tweak in it. But my thing is, if it's not to the point where I don't even know if it'll show up on camera, but it's like just the littlest tweak, and even the front might be a little tweaked.
Right.
But it wasn't to the point where I noticed it driving. When I took parts off of it, you know how sometimes you bend something, as soon as you take a part off, it never lines up again.
Right.
I never had that issue. So like I would say, yeah, you're gonna have tweaks. I guarantee you, I'm gonna tweak the M2C one somewhere. It's gonna get tweaked a little bit because I'm gonna beat the sun out of it. But if it's not to the point where I can't line anything up and it's not driving crooked, I'm gonna keep sending it. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, man. I think you're gonna have to Thor hammer fist that thing in order for the M2C to have an issue.
Challenge accepted.
Yep.
I got some plans though, but for sure. But it's definitely cool. If I was in the market, like I said, I had just so much fun with this thing stock. I think that's why it's hard for me to, like, unless you're like you said, unless you're really into it like we are, and you're going to, you know what you want to put in it and stuff, definitely go that route because you got the better shocks. That's a huge thing for me because I used to bench shock shafts.
Now you are still running the stock. Are you still running the stock servo and receiver?
No, my receiver is
Noble.
Noble
right.
because I did that literally. I ran it stock once with the stock radio,
right,
and then I swapped it to a Noble because I liked it, and I was like, I'm just gonna put a Noble in it because I know some people did have issues with unbinding and stuff. I can't speak on that because I swapped it out so early.
Yeah,
I swapped it out too early. But yeah, I'm still running a stock servo. That thing. Do I want stronger and faster? Yeah, but do I need it? No. You know, for what I do, I don't need craziness.
So in case nobody knows, because there are a few people that I haven't seen in the chat right now. So what radio do you primarily run and why?
The Fly Sky Noble. Actually, it's sitting out in the rain. Hold on.
It's sitting out in the rain?
Well, it's in a box. It's
okay. Right. What the heck is wrong with you?
My lipos are out here in the rain too.
Now, see, here's what's cool. This is something that I also want him to address at some point. Now, you saw him walk away, right? Did his audio change? Did it get worse? No. He has got this Bose earphone thing set up that he absolutely loves.
Man. Yeah, they're great. And dude, I did that. The only time these have ever died on me is when I did that 9-hour live.
Right.
And 7.5 hours in, they died. So I swapped over to my earphones, uncharged them a little bit, and put them back in.
And he's got a beard, and the microphone is sitting in his beard.
Yeah,
it's sitting right next to like a piece of food somewhere.
Yeah, probably. In case I get hungry later, I'm just trying this off so I don't get stuff.
So he absolutely loves this radio.
Yeah, I did a range test on it too. I need to do a redo because I want to see how far it actually goes. But yeah, Fly Sky Noble. If you get it from overseas, it's $180. And this does everything, like in my eyes, a $700 controller does. It can go up to 20 models. It says it's a 4-channel, but it actually can go 4, 6, or 8 channels. And I actually have,
No, sorry.
Oh, you're good. You can go 4, 6, or 8 channels, and I actually have an 8-channel receiver in my EXB. I just had it laying around, and that's all I had, so I threw it in there. They just released micro receivers, like you could put in those really small rock crawlers and stuff. It's super adjustable, and I know some of the $700 controllers, one's only for electric, and one does electric and like gas. This does everything. Like you don't have to do that. And if you're into racing, it has stopwatch timers. It has sensors you can get that are like you can do temp, speed, all that stuff. And the sensors are like $15. And the receivers for these, the 4-channel one I think is $28 or $38. I know $30. It's probably 30. And the 8-channel one is 40.
I have to say, one of the things that I liked about your explanation on the video, Because and that's why I was talking about your channel in the very beginning of the show, is that what I like about your channel is the real deal. You're not afraid to say the real stuff, meaning like, hey, the reason why I got this Fly Sky radio, I was actually afraid because it had one of these on there.
Yeah,
but
it's like
it actually made it easy.
Yeah, because like those ruggeds, man, with the weird scroll, even the ones with just a scroll wheel in the back, they're what, $200? You can get this, and if you can, I think I said it in the thing. If you can work a smartphone, you can work this.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, there's still stuff in here I have no clue what it does.
And that's what's great.
Yeah, and
because for that person that's a tech nut,
yeah,
you're gonna love that thing.
And it's all touchscreen, like it's like super easy. It's responsive. Sorry, I got dirt on it, but like it's responsive. And I don't take it easy on this. It's not like
I was just gonna say, have you dropped it?
Oh yeah.
How many times?
Actually, probably 5 or 6. It hasn't been on concrete though. I've dropped it like on my deck. I dropped it in the dirt at the pit. You've seen the hills at the pit, like crawling up the pits. I put it in the dirt and like pulled myself up. Like I treat it like a controller.
I remember you were using it like an ice pick.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just climbing up. And the cool thing is, this is actually a battery. And there's a battery in the handle. I've literally charged this thing since I had it 3 times.
I was going to ask that. That was literally my next question. Was for the amount of times that you use it. Granted, we don't know if every RC that you ever runs on that radio, but for the amount of times that you've used it, and that was my question, was how many times have you charged it? Like, if you were to guess the length of time that you've used the radio, like, let's say hours, if you could just give a guess, how many hours do you think you get out of using that radio until you have to recharge it again? I
never gone past half.
Because you just plug it in.
Yeah, well, no, I don't even plug it in. If it goes past half, I just hit this button, and this battery turns on and charges the controller.
That's crazy.
And then it's when it's fully charged, it turns off. Like the other day, I turned it on. I wanted to make sure all my stuff was working, and it was half. So I just turned the battery on, put it in the case, and went to go run. And by the time I got there, the controller was charged. I was good to go. And then I just plugged in the battery when I got back.
So here's something that's funny about this Noble radio that I've kind of been thinking about. The only thing that's been preventing me from getting one, and it's probably foolish, is the distance of the radio that I primarily use, which is that Radio Link. The only reason why I got that is because Earl knew that I was going to start doing eventually speed runs. So in a speed run, you need a massive amount of length. So that was what was preventing me from getting that Noble. Now, I've listening to you in the past and us talking about the Noble radio before, I'm more inclined to go ahead and make that purchase only because as long as you're not going to use it as a distance radio, like when you need just that massive distance and you
How
need
far do you need to go?
Huh?
How far do you need to go, like in yards? Because I don't know feet that well. Like how many yards?
Depends upon the eventual speed that you're intending to go. So if you watch Earl, anytime he does a speed run, he uses his $700 Futaba with the extender, because even though he's only going, what is he at? 140 now or something like that? So even though he's at that speed and distance, he wants to have the security of not losing that signal.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, and I think that the Noble radio is half the distance that the Radio Link is. And that's only under perfect conditions. Now, when you did your range test on yours, what I liked was that you literally got to the point, and granted, it was on camera, but I think you literally got to the point of where you could no longer see the RC, right?
Yeah. Well, the crappy thing is the internal antenna went 250 yards. That's no external antenna, no antenna sticking up, just that.
Right.
Went 250 yards. The external antenna, my crappy 2S LiPo died before I can get to my max distance.
Now, did you use a range finder?
Yeah, I brought my
Yeah.
hunting rangefinder and ranged
Yep.
it. I guarantee you this thing will hit 300 yards easy
Yeah.
because the internal one went 250.
Right.
So external antenna is definitely going to go further.
Right.
So, and this has it in it, and I can actually see this because it's a big RC. So I definitely want to go revisit that video and do like all right, this is what it can really go, and just go until I lose signal, because this thing actually tells you, if this thing was on, it'll tell you how strong your signal is. So as it gets further away, it'll actually beep or be like, hey, like you're losing signal. It talks to you.
And that was, you know, what's funny is that's one thing, if I remember right, that is one thing that I do not like about my radio link. It does not tell me that I've left it on.
Really? Yeah, this thing just beeped because I left it on.
Right. No beep, no nothing. And you'll get the most simplest ARRMA RTR radio now that'll beep at you if you leave. And I mean, I'm guilty of it all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've walked away from that radio link thing, left it on, and I come back a day later and I look at it, I'm like, oh, the switch looks like it's on. And I'll flip it and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Like this thing, you can set a timer too for how long you want the screen to stay on if you want to save battery. But like I said, I've never had an issue with a battery.
Right.
And you can set the timer for, like, if you're not touching it for 5 minutes, it'll turn itself off. And stuff like that. I think it's great. And like I said, I really need to go back and revisit that range test and really see how far I can go. You use a DX Rugged, great range when running my boats.
You know what's funny is I've got that DX5, and just personal opinion for me, it's my eyes. That's my issue. I hate the fact that I bought that radio.
I don't like the screen on it. I messed with it.
I never even used it. I literally turned it on. I had it outside so that I could get my eye, because I knew, where are you going to be when you're using your vehicle?
Yeah, you're gonna be outside.
So I went outside in the sun, and because the screen is too deep, it's set too far into the thing, the sides cast a shadow onto the, so you can't see anything anyway.
Like this in direct sunlight is a little rough. It changes the brightness by itself, like your phone does.
Because it's a phone.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, but when you look, every once in a while, if you see me in my videos, like I'll do this just so I can like see it a little better. But it's not like I'm like trying to fight with it.
I have a question for you. Is that thing, is that radio Wi-Fi?
Like to go on the like internet?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I don't know. It might, dude. Like I said, there's stuff in here. I don't even know what it does.
I wonder if it is. That'd be a riot.
Yeah, I don't see anything about Wi-Fi. I'm sure there's people out there that crack this and like put their own firmware on it and stuff.
Right.
But the way it sits, and they and don't think like when I say you get this overseas for $180, this isn't one of those, like, I don't mean to be a jerk, but this isn't one of those China like, oh, controllers.
Pieces of junk. It's a flagship.
Yeah, and there's updates for it all the time.
Well, think about it. Where are we getting our phones from?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not, sorry to say, but they're not coming from over here.
No. What's up, Hoopty? But it's great, and every update makes it better. Like before, when I would go to change a car, it would show like a loading screen, but now I just hit like DBXL and hit yes, and it's immediate. Like there's no in between. Like it changes on a dime. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they added a lot more stuff too, to like the menus and fine tuning and all that stuff. It's nuts. And then when you're doing your steering trim, I don't know if you hear it.
Center point.
It says center point. Well, like when you get to the center point, same thing with the throttle, like all that stuff. And I liked it because I like nitro and two-stroke too. So it does everything. And it has a boat mode. It has a four-wheel steer already built into here, so you can, and everything's adjustable. And like I said, you can go up to 8 channels. So it's honestly, in my eyes, it's a no-brainer. Maybe for speed runs, like I said, I really got to see how far I can really go with it. But besides that, for now, it's my go-to.
And that's why I'm saying that what I liked about that video that you did with the Noble, and I know we get the Outcast on here, but when you did the video about your Noble, what I did like was the fact that you had the rangefinder. You literally went until you almost could not see the car anymore. Mm-hmm. And then it finally started giving you, you know, I guess signal issues or whatever. But I think the radio was telling you signal loss, even though you still had signal, it might have just been intermittent.
Yeah, it was in and out because with the internal antenna at 240 or so, it's when it was like signal loss, and it came back.
What vehicle was that you were using to do the test?
I used the smallest vehicle I had.
Okay.
I used the 1/16 scale Revo.
Right.
And then I used my cap because at the time I only had 2 receivers. I had one in the Capra. The internal antenna one was in the Capra. Yeah, so the Capra was the one where it would start to lose signal at 240 because that has the internal antenna. Sorry guys, it's an old video, so I'm slowly remembering. That had the external antenna in it, the Mini Revo, but I had a 2S LiPo in there from, it was like a 7-year-old LiPo. So like it literally was going fine, and then the LiPo
failed range test, right?
Yeah, it was failed. Like it killed it.
Now, so when you do your next test, are you going to do it with your Outcast?
Yeah, 100%, because I can actually see this thing.
That's what I would like to see, because what it will do is that because you've got a larger RC, you're given the confidence, and you also need the room. You're given the confidence to be able to go further because you can see the car.
Yeah.
So that would be an awesome, I think, test, because you're gonna bring that thing out there to the point of where you're gonna start feeling uncomfortable at the range that you're at. Where why would you ever drive your RC that far away?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I'm gonna try to do it at maybe the pit. If the pit's still a thing, I actually might lose my bash spot.
Why?
Because last time I was there, when I went with my when I went with my old man, there was a bunch of dudes in suits, and then there was a bunch of dudes in construction trucks, and they had blueprints, and they're out there talking.
Oh no!
But I actually might have a place that makes that place look small. So
nice.
Yeah. So
one of my spots that was literally 5 minutes from my house, it was the same thing. I knew eventually that they were gonna build there, but you know what they built there made it so that there's no way in heck I can ever go back there now.
Yeah.
So that kind of stinks, because it is just what happens. You get these awesome places. I mean, there was a place that I used to fly my planes from, and that's now a hotel.
Ugh.
Oh no, yeah, a hotel. And then another spot where I used to fly my planes, and the reason why I say fly my planes, I used to drive the RCs there too. The what did I have out there? I think I did take the Outcast out there, the Hobao, and the UDR I took out there. Awesome spot. But I knew eventually it was going to be condos. So
yeah. Did you do you still have Moon Dust?
No, that's the place that was 5 minutes away that's gone. Are you talking about you talking about Diamond Dust?
Diamond Dust, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, no, I still got that. That
all right, well that's good.
Because of that location, that will, well, from my eyes and how the ground is and how everybody has seen it, that'll never be a shopping plaza or houses or whatever.
At least where I live, I think that all the time, and then I'm like, how the heck did they get it?
Right.
How were they able to build there? Because I know what used to be on there. You
know
what I mean? It just blows my mind.
Yep. There is one spot that I had my eye on that'll support speed runs, and it will also support bashing. So I drove all the way there with the purpose of checking it out. Big, massive sign. Do not enter. I was just like, come on, man. You know, on the weekends, do not enter.
Yeah, come on, really? That's like, I've been once I pay off this one thing I have to pay off, I want to get an infraction V2. I was talking to Earl yesterday, and he was like, yeah, it's definitely a really good go-to.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, the best spot for me to run it is at the mall, because there's a lot in the back that nobody parks at because it's super far away from the mall. It's a really long drive parking lot. And I've seen people practice parallel parking there and stuff like that. So it's kind of like nobody's going to bother me there.
Yep.
So I think that's where I probably end up doing it. And honestly, I know it's not a big parking lot, but where I was doing this speed run, just to drift around and try to learn to drift around like the corners and stuff. And it's an old abandoned restaurant, so I can probably set up a piece of plywood or something and do like a little like jump off of it and like stuff like that. I think I can do some cool content there with the infraction.
Yeah.
It's just I have to get it, you know.
With everything opening up, I'm noticing that there's obviously a lot more car action now. Where I went to that back parking lot of the Kingston Mall, which is over here. Now that back parking lot is reactive now because, you know, there's no masks, all the stores opening up and, you know, whatever's happening. And, you know, that was kind of like, nah.
Yeah. Does this Outcast have the EXB? Does it have the recesses like the stock chassis does?
No.
On the bottom?
Nope. It's all flat chassis, just like the EXB.
I think that's a bad idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think the reason why this chassis is so strong is because of these. Right here.
Yeah. That's like you said. That's basically like having the M2C kind of. Yeah. You know, support. It's kind of like if you have roofing or paneling or whatever. When you have a corrugated versus a straight piece of metal,
exactly,
it's going to be stronger.
Yeah, I think that's a bad move. I think they should have just took their 7075 and stamped it like they did this one. I think that would have made that way more rigid.
Yeah, I guess though stamping 7075 is a little too difficult. I think you can bend the edges like they did here, which was why originally I had said that, yes, it was funny. Somebody jumped on me. It was like, you know what? Right. If you don't want to call this chassis stamped, okay, fine. The wings are still bent. There has to be a stamp, something.
Yeah, push. Yeah. People are just.
I wasn't calling it a fully stamped chassis.
Yeah, dude, you don't even get me started. I've got a couple of haters now, and I love it.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's. I'm questioning. Hopefully, it's stronger. Because it is shorter. I think that's what saved this chassis too. And I think the stock 8S Creighton, I don't think has these either.
Here's that underside that you were questioning right there. You can see.
Yeah, how it just, dude,
that's the millimeter. The millimeter of material that's gone.
That's honestly, that's a stupid design. Like, keep it the same thickness all the way down.
Can't really see the front.
No. Because, like I said, Sergeant J bent his front end.
Right.
On his EXB. It's just like, I don't know. Like,
so wait a minute. If it's on the back, if it's on the underside, if it looks like it's almost on both sides.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So it's rolled out on both sides.
Yeah, it is. And it's yeah, it's just, it's a weak spot. It's not, I'm just not, I hate that they did that. Like, if it was the same thickness all the way around, I wonder
what their reasoning was for doing that.
And like I said, it doesn't affect, because the M2C one is the same thickness all the way down, and it doesn't affect how the bumpers go on. It doesn't affect any of that. Like you said, maybe it's because they don't want to countersink those holes deeper, but like, I don't get it.
Right. If you've got a stronger metal, why does it matter?
Yeah, exactly. Like, but did you see Kevin's video when he bent the front end of his EXB Creighton and he hit it with a hammer?
No. To
straighten it up. It's actually a pretty cool to show what kind of metal they're using. Because apparently, I don't know, I'm not a metal worker, I'm a chef. So apparently there's different grades of 70-75.
Yeah.
And
I'll stop you just for 1 second. You are actually a metal worker. You just don't realize it.
Okay.
Well, think about it. Okay, go to Walmart and get a chef's knife.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a metal worker. You know the quality of your knives.
Yeah, and steel and stuff. Yep. But like this is like honestly, I recommend watching that video. I don't care if you hate him or not, whoever's in chat, if you don't like him. But it's actually a really cool representative, like to show how strong an M2C is compared to even their 7075 that they're putting out. Because he bent his friend, he hit it with a hammer, and not like super hard, just enough to like get it straight, and it bent a lot.
Yeah.
And then he was like, watch this. And he took an M2C one, did the same exact thing, hit it the same, and it didn't move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's definitely a different kind of 7075 for sure.
Right. Yep.
It's definitely cool though. I honestly, I'm thinking about getting a body because I really need a body and I really like the way it looks in black.
Right. It is sharp.
But then I was also thinking about getting a clear body for mine and painting it camo because I need a camo truck.
Right. Now, when you do a camo paint job, how do you do that?
I've never painted a camo RC before. I've
like a
painted,
true, like, yeah.
I've painted stuff for hunting, like tree stands and stuff, and like ground blinds. I did, but it's not like the army, old school army with the blotches. It's kind of like mixed in, which I'm just gonna do it the way I know and throw some leaves and like try to get leaf colors, patterns in there, and just hope for the best. Because I'm a basher. I'm not, it's gonna get beat up anyway.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. So if you didn't have one, would you get the EXB instead?
Man, I think you have to, like what you said, honestly, I think you have to weigh out what your plans are and what you have, because the amount of money, like if you had nothing, if you had no electronics, no radio, no nothing, that's where you're going to get hurt. Do you know what I mean? Your pocket's going to get hurt. So, I would say that they're giving you some good stuff, but like what we're bringing out or what you're bringing out about the chassis, that is a, I didn't even realize that it was inset on the bottom. I only thought it was inset on the top. And to make it, so obviously it must be a 0.5, it must be a 0.5 millimeter top and bottom just to take, get rid of that, section. But it's just like, that does seem pretty bad. That seems like a foolish move. But is it a foolish move for the company? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to, like, why? It's like no one's ever going to really know. I bet if we had, what's his name there, Jason, right here, right now, and we said, hey, tell us now, why on the EXB models of both the Creighton and the Outcast, why is the chassis milled? Why? Why not keep it the same thickness all the way? Probably wouldn't get a straight answer. He'd probably say, it's in the design. Yeah, it's in the design. Like, get more chassis.
I wish I was a bigger YouTuber like Tony, because he gets ARRMA people on there, and I wouldn't be afraid to ask that. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm not saying he is, but like, just in general, I'd be like, why do you guys mill it out? What's the purpose? Like, why did you go that route?
For a company too, though, they have to be careful. They can't, because they're speaking for their company, their name. They do have to have the questions ahead of time. And,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know all that.
Because that would be bad.
Yeah. That's probably
get the guy on and he ends up looking bad because he said something that maybe he shouldn't have, or
I would love to ask why though. Like, whoever designed that, like, there has to be a reason. Like, what is the reason why you mill that out?
Right.
Because it's obviously a weak spot. You take any metal off, it's going to get weaker.
Right. Yeah.
But is there I think I seen something. Like I said, I didn't like look crazy into it. The rear rods back here, are they different? Are they thicker?
Yeah, the steering links and the upper and lower, not upper and lower, the upper rod ends are thicker. The bulk of the material is thicker to accommodate for the rod end. Yeah, it's basically what this is. This is literally the EXB Creighton shortened with the shortened chassis.
Yeah.
One thing that I didn't know though, and I don't think that I saw, was the tires. Did they go
with the bigger tire?
With the bigger tires, which, let's see.
Did they mention that? I don't think they did.
I don't see it being mentioned, but I'm going to quickly just buzz through this. Stunt truck, wheels, and multi-terrain D-boots backflips.
That's what's on here now. I don't
So
think
it's
there's
not-
anything. But...
Yeah, it's not saying anything.
What's that number saying? 522AX.
Yeah.
Hold on. 522AX, same tire.
So that seems kind of odd.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Because in my opinion, something that was a little bit of a saving to the suspension, everything about the new truck, the EXB Creighton, was they changed the tire. Such a small change, but it did make a difference.
Yeah. I actually have the steering rods for the EXB Creighton here. It's another upgrade I'm doing for the front, because when I eventually break these, I'm going to swap these out. These are actually like almost 7 mil, I think. Yeah, they're 6.87 mil.
Yeah.
Which
versus
the stock is that right? Really? No way. Hold on. Zero it out. Yeah, these are like a little less than a little.
Guys, chill.
What's going on?
Yeah,
Sarge?
what's up, dude? You scared the crap out of me.
What is up?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm actually getting ready to go bash right now.
Nice.
Awesome, dude.
What are you taking?
The stock is
All right, so I got my XMAXX 8S.
Oh, he's cutting out.
Yeah. Oh no.
He's probably got bad service.
Right, right. We can't hear you. There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah.
So, Sergeant J, now that you're on here, we were talking about you a little bit. How easily did your EXB Creighton chassis bend, in your opinion?
It was actually, it was pretty hard. So what I did with it was pretty to get it to bend the way it did.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Radical RC UK bash bar on there, and that made it to where it only bent the front portion of the chassis.
Because it doesn't go all the way.
Yeah, that's another thing. That bar needs to go all the way forward.
Yeah, it should. So
I got a lot of hate for saying that in the ARRMA group.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. It needs to go all the way.
Right.
And I asked them like why they didn't do that, and they really just said there wasn't like the design, like to put that bend on it and stuff, and still keep it as rigid as it needs to be. It was probably like a design issue.
I don't find. See, I'm sorry. Granted, I'm no designer, but
it's a money thing.
You do kind of know some metal stuff when you're thinking about sandwiching two pieces of metal together. What's going to potentially shear would be the bolts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That would be the slip point. You know, that slip joint.
Yeah, there's.
That's
why, like, go ahead.
Because that bent, it bent the front chassis brace down, like the top one that goes across. It bent that one down, snapped the connections for it that go into the pins that hold them up. It ripped a bulkhead out from the chassis, and the front rear hinge pin brace, the plastic one, completely ripped out of there. So I bought a new bulkhead and stuff, and then realized when I took everything apart that it wasn't the bulkhead itself. The screws did rip out of the bulkhead, but the bulkhead itself was still in one piece.
Right.
So hinge pin brace that broke. So I went ahead and upgraded those to the ARRMA upgrade ones that go on there for the hinge pins.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any issues since. I got a little quick bash video I put out there maybe a week and some change ago.
Wait a minute. Did I hear you say this right? This is an EXB you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Did you say upgrade with ARRMA upgrades?
Yep. You would think that these would come with these things already aluminum.
I know.
Right? Nah, every company does it, man.
Yeah. There's certain parts that should still be.
But when you call something, this is what heats me up about that particular thing. Exactly what Sergeant J just said right here. and I understand your take on it, and I'm the same as you, Chef. But when you call something a full option roller, no, it's
a
not.
full option. You don't have all the options.
It's not. It's
You
supposed
don't
to
have it all.
every option available. What do you mean full option?
Yeah, you don't have all the options because you got to get on there and find their optional parts for the full option roller.
Yep.
100%. I agree.
Crazy. All right, what are we looking at?
What do you guys
Hour and a half.
going? Oh, you got the AX,
Yeah,
Outcast there, huh?
you getting it?
I made up my mind. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna the EXB Creighton is gonna have a twin. Well, I guess a little brother, or maybe even call it a big brother, depending on which one bashes better.
It's gonna be a big brother. I guarantee the Outcast is gonna bash better. It's a stunt truck, you know.
Yeah.
If it handles anything like it does stock, I think you're gonna really enjoy it, dude.
I think people need to realize the wording that you just used, Chef. What did you just call it? You called it a stunt truck.
Yeah, it's
a truck that's designed to take the hits where the Creighton wasn't. The Creighton was not designed to be the animal that everybody thought it was. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, the Creighton was designed to not take extreme air, but just, nice jumps, very smooth landing, maybe slope to slope type of jump, not flipping through 4 times and tumbling and all that stuff.
Yeah, like you said, it's designed to hit a landing. Like this is designed to launch off of a mountain and just hit flat.
And be able to correct.
Yeah, exactly. I have to give it to the Creighton though for soaking up the bumps because it is longer.
Yes.
So like when me and Addictor are out at the pit, his Outcast, his Creighton 1/5 8S goes over the bumps really nice because it does have that little extra length, so it does soak up the bumps a little better. This seems to get jostled around a little bit more just because it is shorter, so
I can't remember if Earl came out with a video yet, but there is a test that I know he's doing, so I'm not going to say what the test is, but there is a test that he's doing with I think it's the Creighton. And it may address an issue that the Creighton has. So I'm hoping that he pushes forward with that test. So
nice.
Yep.
But this is like about 1.5 mil thicker, the new EXB steering rod. I'm waiting for them to get stock for the rears because I bend the rears sometimes, very rarely. So
I think
basically
in these advertisements.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of motor and what kind of ESC and stuff they're running.
I want to know if they really sent it off that ramp.
Yeah, there's no video of that, right?
I did not see that ramp in the video. That's a pretty steep ramp.
I would send it, dude, 100%. Especially if I work there, I'm like, I just go back to work and get more parts.
It almost looks like Duperdash's ramp.
Yeah.
We'll just call it
What do I call him? Duperdash? Duperdash. I think it's Duperbash, right? Yeah, Duperbash.
Yeah, Bash?
Yeah. It looks like his ramp.
Yeah, I need to build a ramp, but wood is so freaking expensive right now.
You know what, man? I was supposed to do a greenhouse. I am not doing a greenhouse at the current lumber prices, man.
No, it's ridiculous, dude.
Pressure treated 6x6x12s, where I used to get them at my landscape company. They were $35 a piece. They are now $78.
Jeez.
It's like, no way. I'm not even going to build walls for people. No thanks. Sorry. You can wait till next year. I'll build you a wall next year because I'm not charging you 3 times the price.
You can part out your house and buy a new house.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's nuts.
Right now is a great time to sell, but a horrible time to buy.
Yeah. There's a reason you don't get in the 5th scale. Shade is because it's too expensive. Parts and stuff are more.
Yeah, but the enjoyment's that much more too.
Dude, there's just something about a 30-pound truck getting launched 30 feet in the air. It's just awesome. It's so cool.
Yep.
Especially, and then like when I did my first standing backflip with this, I was like, what?
Where is
It's absolutely insane.
it? So I'm gonna. This actually, I wanted you to look at this, Chef. I'm gonna throw it on this for a second so I can pull up the listing. So in my Amazon cart, I saw this a long time ago.
You think the Outcast should come with the EXB tires? I don't think so. I think these tires are actually phenomenal. I have a lot of runtime on them. I haven't blown one up. I think one came unglued in one little area, like half an inch. I put a little glue. They've held up great. They grip for where I run. They grip really well. I think they're great tires.
Yeah. I haven't heard anybody having any issues with them.
Yeah, and I actually have XMAXX tires coming today because I blew one up. I'm actually going to swap that out today.
Nice.
So I can finally get that beast back out.
So this is a wheelie bar that I've been thinking about.
Really? I see someone running one of those. Is that aluminum?
Yeah, that's an aluminum brace in the middle there and skateboard wheels.
That attaches right to the center brace, everything. This
Dude,
thing
I don't think
mint.
I would get that.
That thing looks mint. It's
It's
got a handle and everything.
I don't like how it's aluminum.
Right.
Because I land on my back end sometimes, and I feel like it being plastic helps not break. I think that aluminum is just going to jam that forward, and you're going to be snapping.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it.
I don't know, man. I think I want to get that, me personally, because I'm going to be. I think I'd snap a tower or something, man.
Right. Well, you hope things will flex.
Yeah, but that just feels like
hey, like we always talk about, someone's got to be the guinea pig to see if something's going to work or not.
You let me know. You launch it like 35 feet in the air and land on the back.
Oh yeah.
Let me know if it breaks.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll look at it. But
well, hopefully you have at least the air control to not do that.
Yeah, but sometimes things happen. Oh, you do the cartwheels, like the 20 cartwheels in a row, and when they're this big, you can see the cartwheels because it leaves craters every time it hits.
Oh yeah.
But I still haven't broken a shock tower yet. I haven't broken what's it called? The bulkheads. I actually have those backed up, the bulkheads, just in case. But all this thing, I'm telling you, I love this thing.
What diff did you grenade?
The rear in this one.
The rear.
It was stripped, but honestly, it was my fault. And it was as soon as I finished my XMAXX review, I was going to post this video. I was like, I know people were like, see, you broke the Outcast now. But it was my
also,
fault.
wait a minute, how many miles are on your Outcast?
Exactly.
Versus
and
your
on what I put this thing through. And honestly, sometimes you land with the throttle on and you can't do that. And I've done it a few times and it finally just stripped the inside of the diff.
That's what somebody made that comment about the Big Rock. Stop landing on throttle. It's like, wait a minute. You do get it that sometimes you actually have to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, it happens. And that's why I wasn't mad. I was like, I beat the snot out of this thing. And honestly, that's the worst break I've ever had. Everything else is like little things like rod ends and arm, oblonging out the steering, nothing crazy, easy fixes.
Right.
That diff braking was the only time it actually, and I highly recommend, even if you're getting a new one, if you're swapping out your arms, limit the rear shocks, because once I limited the rear shocks, I haven't had any issue with my shock ends breaking.
Jersey 201, the only thing that I can say, just like every shipping and every manufacturer is still saying, is because still COVID variants, still having issues with shipping of parts. We've got ships going down in the ocean. There's all kinds of like stuff going on, man. This is crazy.
Shipping rigs stuck in it now.
Here's a question for you. You'll know. So this meat issue, the hijacking of the whatever the meat line, does that affect you in any way?
It hasn't affected me. I've been getting all my orders. We can order everything. I guess it might be a different purveyor
Right.
that got hit, because it's not affecting my job at all.
Right.
We're actually up in sales. We're actually to the point where we're starting to get even busier than we were
CRC
before.
Guy Garage Meat Show.
Dude, I was really thinking about doing a video in my meat room, set out my GoPro and just like cleaning a fillet, cutting a fillet, and
Yeah,
just
you should.
just to be like, hey, this is what I do. If you guys are wondering, I used to be a chef, but this is what I do now, and I cut meat. You know, that competition I went to is actually happening in August again.
Nice.
And if I win again in my state, we're going to Kentucky instead of Tennessee, like we did last year. And if I win in Kentucky, I win $20,000. So I've been practicing. The first time I won Jersey, I kind of just like practiced a little bit. I didn't take it too seriously, and I still won. So I think if I really like push myself, I think I really want that 20 grand.
20 grand sounds like a nice deposit on some property.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. At least 10 acres.
Yeah.
And then I'm telling you, when I get property, I know you're a busy man and you make your money and stuff, but if I get property and I build a bash spot, you're coming. Like, I don't care. Like, I will drive and pick you up. Like, get in the truck.
Bring my little red tractor.
Yeah, we're going right now. Like, I want to do a bash event with all you guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Definitely would be.
But yeah, so I think it's the Outcast is definitely, it's going to be cool. I can't wait to get. I know my buddy addicted to RC is totally going to get one. His goal is to get every EXB, so he's going to get the Outcast,
Right.
and then I can show my M2C EXB versus his EXB and see how they hold up.
But I want to make sure, because don't get things twisted. You've put some money into your truck.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why I said in my most recent video, I don't consider it an Outcast anymore. It's my basher now, you know. But if you look at it, he's going to do about the same. Besides the chassis, he's going to put a big can motor in it, which I did. He's going to put probably a Max 5 in it, you know. And we're going to be running the same shocks. He'll probably run close to the same electronics as me. The only difference is he's going to have their chassis. I'm going to have the M2C.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I am running the same shocks. I'm going to be running the same steering.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely did. But it wasn't out of necessity, which I'd like to point out. Like, I didn't do it because I had to. I did it because I wanted to.
Right.
Like, the motor didn't break. The motor's in the EXB. The chassis didn't bend to the point. It did a little bit to the point where I needed one. I just think it deserved it, and it's my favorite basher, so I'm gonna do it. You know, so It wasn't out of necessity. It was out of want. So I feel like that's the main thing I had to push to people, like, because they're like, well, you upgraded it. Like,
well,
I
remember when you talked. Yeah, I remember when you talked about it. You were like, it's not because I need it. It's because I feel motivated and it deserves it.
Yeah,
I want to take it up to that next level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did it. Like, it wasn't out of necessity at all, because stock of things an animal.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to move on this stream. Like I said, I just wanted to jump on, and I was hoping that you would, pop in. I wasn't sure if you were going to or not, but because you have put so much into because you've put so much love into what you've kind of created right now, I want to say it's probably your favorite platform, even away from your DBXL-E.
No, I don't have an E. I have a DBXL 2-stroke.
Yeah, that's right. DBXL. Yeah.
Don't insult me like that.
When are you going to run that anytime?
Yeah. I plan. I wanted to do it today, but it's going to rain all day. Because I fixed the throttle issue. So don't worry. It's my content got a little stale because I've been focusing on this because there were so many upgrades for it. But now I want to get the XMAXX back out. I'll make more videos on that. I want to get the 2-stroke back out. My kit I built. I'm going to throw a tune in that and get that back out. So I got some.
It's hard to be broad, isn't it?
Well, I get
Because
so
you gotta
focused
focus on something sometimes.
Yeah, like I get so focused on something when I'm like, all right, like now the only other thing this thing needs is a heat sink. Because I was talking to Earl yesterday, and my pinion keeps getting loose. My motor temps aren't bad on the outside
Right.
because of these game changer fans,
Right.
but it's not pulling the heat away from the motor, so it's heating up the shaft and it's melting my Loctite.
Yeah.
So I want to get a heat sink on here, and this thing will be good to go.
Yeah.
But like I said, 2 strokes are coming. My nitros are coming. Like summer's just starting, so I got plans, and I want to get a speed car. So I'm definitely going to be pushing it. A little different.
Awesome,
But,
man.
well, it was a pleasure being here, everybody in chat.
Thank you, Chef, for showing
phenomenal.
up. Sergeant
Sergeant.
J, I don't know if Sergeant J can hear us.
Yeah, I'm still
'Cause
here.
I don't have any volume from him.
I hear him. He just said he's
Yeah, I
still
turned
here.
Oh,
the
you
mic
can?
off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
But,
talking to one of my coworkers here.
Everybody in chat, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate it, everybody.
We're
Sergeant
going to
J, it was a
end the
pleasure.
show.
All right, gentlemen, take it easy. I'm gonna get the
Sergeant
battery,
J,
man.
thanks for
I gotta
popping in,
reverse
man.
some wires on my motor so I can get this thing going.
Yeah, man. Do some good bashing for me, bud. It's
All right,
raining here.
I'll put something together tonight. You guys should see it up probably tonight or tomorrow.
Nice,
Sweet, looking
Sergeant
forward
J.
to it.
Good for
Take
you,
it easy,
man.
guys.
XMAXX versus Creighton 8S EXB.
Awesome, man.
Later.
All right, everybody. So thanks for coming to this live stream. It kind of like goes everywhere, just like it usually does. The intent is to talk about what was on screen, which was this thing right here. It's the this thing, the Outcast. There is an EXB Outcast now. We kind of knew that that's what was going to happen. Is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, I think so. To a degree, you got to weigh out where you are in this kind of like RC stuff. There are benefits to it. It basically is exactly what I think everybody knew. It is literally just throwing a freshened up body, which means just a new color scheme, which is their EXB color scheme body. I do feel surprised that I'm not seeing a change in the tires, but maybe that's to keep it tightened up. Like maybe it's not going to throw off the balance. I don't know. I have no idea. Will I get one? Man, I don't know. I got to make sure I'm careful with doing these live streams because my wife can watch. Anyways, I'm out. Everybody, thank you for coming. If you feel inclined, you already know what to do. Throw a thumbs up on there. Today and tomorrow, again, another rain out. And yeah, I'm battling with a little bit of a issue right now, which is my own kind of stupidity, thinking that I'm superhuman and I'm not. So anyways, I'm out. Hopefully everybody out there is having a good time. We got Savage Junkie, we got Shade Tree, Thomas, Kurt, Old and Slow, Owen Rogers, we got Paul, Jess, Shredding, what's going on, guy? Do you know a place to get the wing mount to put a wing? Yeah. So if you go on, it actually might, the link might be in the description right now. I know that when I did the conversion, I held off on putting the links in the description because people like asking right away, what are the links, whatever. And it's like, I'm not going to give any links because I don't know if it works. And it definitely works. So if you want to get rid of that sagging rear end, I think, I'm sorry to say it, you literally just have to click on the video. You don't have to watch the video. Just click on Laser Nut videos on my channel. Just hit the description. You don't have to watch it. Hit the description. If you go down, probably like half a mile down, in the description, you might see like it talks about basically the wing and the conversion stuff that I did for that laser nut to turn it into a monster nut. So, and it may even be called Monster Nut or something like that. But those links are in there. So, Jersey E, Thomas, Hot Hoop D. Man, I can. Oh, I always mess up the crazy. I can't read those names. X-Taz Fast Dex. I can't read that. I can't read that. I'm saying it wrong. I'm destroying it. So, but Dazapaka. And I think that's about it. Eric. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. Thank you guys for coming. You know what to do. I'm out doing something. I think I'm going to work on trash bag. So we'll see you guys later. Hopefully on the next one. I don't know when that'll be, but you know what to do. End the broadcast.